is Lois Soley, and I've been in Shakespeare Club 49 years.
Okay, this is from April 28th. Shakespeare Club met at the home of Carol Wirtz at 2 p.m. April 28th with 6 members present. President Evelyn Blum calls the meeting to order.
I'm Evelyn Blum, and I've been in the club since about 98, right after I retired from teaching.
In old business, Evelyn said she sent letters to winners of the sonnet contest and also invited the teacher to the picnic where winners will read their sonnets and receive awards.
But of course, when they started in 1901, there weren't, many other things to do, except belong to a study club and get together with a group of friends.
The meetings are about an hour long, and it's a lot of retired teachers, current teachers, and just Shakespeare enthusiast groupies. We gather and read the minutes from the last meeting, talk about any new business, things like what's happening at the Shakespeare Gardens in Wessington Springs, or just chit-chat about Shakespeare. Has anybody seen the latest Shakespeare movie? Then we have some sort of presentation. Maybe somebody is doing a dramatic reading.
Holy bread! It makes me angry. Day and night, hour by hour, at work, at play, alone, in company. It's been my one concern to find her a husband. And now I've provided a gentleman from a noble family, of good appearance, youthful, well brought up, a decent, honorable, handsome figure of a man, only to have a wretched, puking idiot, a whining crybaby. When good fortune is offered to her, reply, "I won't marry, I can't love, I'm too young, please excuse me."
Well, we had just moved to Aberdeen, and my husband's family had been associated with Northern for many years, and it seemed like the English teachers were all in Shakespeare Club. And so it was a nice group of ladies and men to find my way into this community.
I love Shakespeare, and when I was in junior high, I had this wonderful teacher, Elizabeth Pinkerton, who had a Shakespeare Club. We had a Shakespeare Club in middle school, junior high, and we acted Shakespeare and read Shakespeare, and I just loved it. And so when he said there was a Shakespeare Club, I thought, yeah, but it sounds scary. He said, well, Lois said you could come to this meeting, and everyone was so down to earth, and they were just natural, and it wasn't a social club, they loved Shakespeare, and it was.
I had planned my college career about as poorly as one could possibly do, and in the spring semester of my senior year in college, I remember thinking explicitly, this is my last shot to take a Shakespeare class, with a bunch of people, with an expert, and educated people read Shakespeare, and I should do this, and I did, and it was the best college experience I had.
Favorite memory is listening to people read Shakespeare. It's just such a beautiful language, even if you don't understand it. It's music, and that's why I joined.
That's right. Lover alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ nor no man ever loved.
Oh yes, we were telling them before, when we would act out Romeo and Juliet or the Taming of the Shrew, and some of the ladies would have props and they'd wear mops on their heads.
Well, I think the thing that means the most to me is the friendships that I've made with the club members over the years. And of course, I've been in it long enough that some members are no longer with us. We have over the years had more members than we have right now.
The most exciting part was the conversations we had over coffee after the program, and it was always about some idea that was brought up in the program. And she had the phone in that because then she could do her work.
I also really like the stories that come out of it, the stories that the women tell. About one of them about being a mom when the kids were playing in the mog, and there were some bullies, and she got out her bullwhip and snapped that bullwhip and scared the bullies away. and finding out that a lot of the women in our club had been in, taught in, attended one-room schoolhouses. So I guess it's a conflation of both Shakespeare and finding out that you're sitting in a history that's quickly fading away.
I had absolutely zero in my one-room country schoolhouse. Never
That you taught at?
No, I attended
Attended.
for 8 years.
Well, I think that Aberdeen is kind of isolated, and Shakespeare Club connects us to the rest of the world, and it's just you can meet with a group of like-minded people and have really fun times and good discussions and still go home friends.
Well, I think you've got Shakespeare for one, and the language and the imagination of Shakespeare is enough to just carry it through for the most part. A lot of Shakespeare clubs, they drift into card-playing clubs or just social clubs, but this one is pretty much, from what I understand, has stayed pretty true to Shakespeare. So you've got that, and then you've got, I guess some people say, this is a kind of an isolated area out here, and women don't have much else to do, and if they want intellectual stimulation, they've got to have something like Shakespeare, but, these days, that's not the case anymore. I think it's more just the cohesion of the friendships and the people.
I think there are two reasons. One reason is Mr. Shakespeare himself, because there's a reason that here we are 400 years later and people still read Shakespeare and they're still moved by it. And so there's a continual interest in the subject. And then the other reason is just the people. And Shakespeare Club, for whatever reason, brings together people who are passionate, who care, and they like to be together. And it's a good community, and so it naturally adds people to it over time as people leave, new people come in, and it's just about the quality of the people in the club.
And I think probably I would recommend anybody who enjoys talking, who enjoys conversations, listening to conversations, to join Shakespeare Club, because you make friends, you learn new things, you talk about ideas that you wouldn't talk about anywhere else, I think, because Shakespeare is the basis.
It's been enjoyable for me, and I think the oldest in the club and the longest member, still in this club. But I enjoy it.
I think it just was a group of like-minded people. Very difficult to find people who have this love of Shakespeare in the Midwest, but these people like Shakespeare, and so do I.